The American Meteor Society says witnesses reported seeing it all across the West.
That is inside this lunar module looks like a woman, and this is the alien that they recovered from the ship.
Buckle up, people. Today's video is going to be intense. Astronomers have just spotted a massive object falling from space. And guess what? It's heading right towards us. But why is the government not talking about it?
We were smart enough to not say, Houston, there's a light out there that's following us.
Is it just a falling object, or is there something more at play here? Keep watching to find out. Number 1. The initial sighting. Believe it or not, this object was first spotted by amateur astronomers who described it as a massive dark entity moving rapidly towards Earth. Scientists aren't sure, but from the initial calculations, it's about 720 feet in diameter, approximately twice the size of a football field. That doesn't sound too good. And to make things worse, this object is coming right at us at a speed of nearly 25,000 miles per hour. That's about 26 times the speed of sound. Number 2, more powerful than Hiroshima. The speed of this ungodly object is being compared to the asteroid that caused the Tunguska event. And in case this is the first time you're hearing about it, let me quickly explain. Like and subscribe right now, and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week. It happened back in 1908, after an asteroid literally flattened an entire forest in Serbia. Luckily, the forest was uninhabited, so there weren't any major losses, but it was absolutely devastating. And considering how our new mystery object is rushing towards us,
best guesses put that asteroid at between 30 and 50 meters across.
With such great speed, scientists predict the energy released upon impact could be the equivalent of multiple megatons of TNT. Let me put that into perspective. That impact won't just surpass the Hiroshima bomb. It'll actually be several times greater than it. Number 3, potential impact zone. Okay, before all of you start freaking out, let me get one thing out of the way. Researchers at NASA have officially taken over, and according to their latest models and simulations, this colossal object won't hit us. It'll just be a super close flyby, and it's even possible we might see it. But what if all those predictions are wrong? What if this object makes an impact? Well, in that case, it's the coastal cities in the northern hemisphere that should start worrying. And what makes it even scarier is how all of those cities are densely populated. But for now, I wouldn't worry too much. This isn't the first time an object has closely passed by us. So, let's put our faith in the boys over at NASA. Oh, and here's a not-so-fun fact. If this object defied all models and landed in our ocean, even then, we wouldn't be safe. It would unleash some of the worst tsunamis we've ever seen. Number 4, contingency plan. NASA actually has a DART program. And what's that, you might be wondering? It involves shooting up a spacecraft and literally detonating nuclear bombs in the object's path to throw it off its original trajectory. Honestly, that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but I don't really feel too confident about that. What if it blew the object up and led to a nuclear winter? Or worse, what if tiny fragments of it start impacting all over the Earth? It doesn't sound too promising, so for now, let's just believe NASA and hope it doesn't hit us. Number 5, government silent. Here's something interesting. Have you noticed how the government hasn't even talked about this life-threatening object even once? What's actually going on? Are they just as scared as us? Or is there something else going on behind the scenes? Last I remember, secrecy is just a way to control public panic. Let's hope that's not the case. But I will say, it's led to some really intriguing conspiracy theories. UFO enthusiasts believe it's actually an alien spaceship here to colonize Earth. And on the other hand, a group of people thinks it's a religious event, signaling the end of time. But allow me to put you at ease. This has happened several times before. We've been through plenty of scares. Y2K, Yellowstone explosions, the 2012 movie, we've seen it all. So, let's not fuel more of these crazy theories and just stick to what we know. But speaking of UFO enthusiasts, there've been some crazy sightings recently. Let's talk more about that. Number 6. The Pentagon releases UFO footage. I find it strange how the public has slammed the Pentagon for hiding alien secrets for the longest time. And when they finally declassify some of the most jaw-dropping UFO footage ever, no one even bats an eye. This is real, folks. And the alarming bit is how you can hear the person following it talk about there being several of them. Did we just witness a school of alien spacecraft? And maybe the reason why it took them so long to release this is because they've finally given up trying to figure out what it was. Either way, that thing does not look human to me at all. Number 7. Bizarre sighting. What is that? I never knew whales could fly, because that's what it looks like. But for real, that thing looks super weird. When passengers first spotted it during their flight, they completely freaked out. Now, some experts do believe it's just light refraction coming off an aircraft's contrail, but I don't know. Seems a bit too unnatural to me. Number 8. Potential contact attempt. Before everyone starts saying it's just a Starlink launch, this happened back in 1997. Was this an actual contact attempt? I'm not sure, but judging from how these lights slowly got into formation, it seems like it. And what's scarier is how several people have shared spotting similar lights, taking the exact formation. I don't know about you, but I find this clip very eerie. It's like they've been watching us for the longest time ever. Number 9. Drones, or the same thing. Remember how I was just telling you about several people spotting similar lights? Well, check this news report out. What do we have here? The same exact lights and formation. Now, to be fair, they could just be flares or even drones, since the clip is recent. But I don't know. Several drone experts have weighed in and claimed these aren't it. Could it be a specific group of extraterrestrials trying to establish contact? Who knows? Number 10. UFO in Jerusalem. For a landmark with so much religious history, this footage is strange. It shows a mysterious light come down and hover right above the dome before shooting back up at a crazy speed. Why isn't anyone talking about this? Especially after the Pentagon's statement of how we're possibly not alone. Number 11. What was that? Look closely, or you'll miss it. It appears to be a bright flash coming from 3 different light sources. Did an alien spacecraft just hyper-jump into space? Or was it a camera glitch? I'll let you be the judge. Number 12. Intense UFO sighting. Strap in, folks. This video is about to get wild. Now, in practicality, these are just some bright lights. They could be anything. Helicopters, low-passing planes, a military drill. But here's where things get strange. This clip was posted on Reddit, and some comments really left me speechless. The same exact lights were first spotted in England, and then in France on the next day, and then in Australia. The question here is, even if it is just a helicopter or plane, what's it doing traveling all over the globe? Number 13. Mysterious lights over Florida. No one's telling me that's a Starlink launch. I've seen plenty of those, and they look nothing like this. Starlink satellites are much dimmer and all launched in a straight line. And I know I've repeated this too many times already, but it's the same exact formation. Also, it's like they're actually following the brightest light at the front of the formation. Is that the mothership, or is it some Autobots preparing for a war on Earth? Number 14. Slender Man, or an actual alien. This clip was recorded in Brazil and went viral after people started commenting on how it might just be an alien entity. And honestly, from the looks of it, it doesn't exactly look human. It's tall and slender, and surprisingly big for something being recorded from such a distance. It could just be a basketball player, you know, but I doubt that. Plus, the movements don't seem too natural either. Number 15. Dobby, is that you? I'm confused. Are aliens real, or is Hogwarts an actual school? And I'm not even joking. If I captured something like that in my security footage, you'd see a for sale sign in my yard the next day. Number 16. Pilot records a UFO. You know, things are getting serious when a commercial pilot pulls out their phone mid-flight. It's clearly not a plane. Starlink satellites? Possibly. But this appears to be something else. The way they're moving disproves that they're satellites. It's too quick and controlled for a satellite. And that leads me to the next question. Don't you find it weird how more and more pilots are starting to report UFO sightings? Will this be the century aliens finally reveal themselves to us? I have no clue, but the way these objects flared was very strange. Number 17. Alien sighting. Watching this news report gave me goosebumps. Here's how it goes. Some residents alerted 911 after spotting a mysterious 8-foot-tall green alien. I know what you're thinking. Drugs. But no, Just hear me out. The police dismissed the case, claiming it must have been something else. But check this out. Something fell out of the sky the same night, a couple of moments before the call. Footage of the falling object was recorded by multiple residents.
The fireball captured on a police body cam on the night of April 30th was real.
Did this neighborhood actually see an alien that night? And I don't blame them for not recording it either. I mean, I sure as heck would be too terrified to pull out my phone after spotting something that huge. Number 18. Buzz Aldrin confirms UFO sightings. Buzz Aldrin, ladies and gentlemen, a hero for millions of kids growing up. And while this clip doesn't have any action or sightings, it's actually way more terrifying than any of that. Buzz Aldrin has confirmed spotting several UFOs during the Apollo mission.
The other thing that is inside this lunar module looks like a woman, and this is the alien that they recovered from the ship.
Let me repeat that. Buzz Aldrin, the second human to ever walk on the moon, has confirmed UFOs. In a way, what this means is aliens are real. We aren't alone in the universe, after all. Number 19. Chaos at Tianjin Airport. These aren't drones, folks. This footage was recorded right above the Tianjin Airport, which is a restricted space for drone. Even airport officials had no idea what these objects were, as there was zero activity on their radars. And this wasn't just a glitch or something. No, sir. It was recorded by several people from several angles, and all of them saw the same exact thing. I don't know, but the Chinese government should have scrambled their fighter jets to see how these things respond. Who knows? Maybe they were aliens checking out our plane. Number 20. Men in Black. Imagine being a hotel manager and seeing a strange triangular floating object right above the building. A couple of days later, you see two freakishly tall men dressed in black suits telling you never to talk about it again. Sounds like a Men in Black movie plot, right? But no, this happened in real life, and you can even see the two strange-looking men entering the hotel lobby. Oh, and the hotel manager also mentioned how both of them had no eyebrows.
Bald with no eyebrows or eyelashes, and had smooth, dead white plastic skin like a doll.
Men in Black or aliens disguised as humans. Number 21. 1950. UFO sighting. Before I get into it, I'm kind of surprised how clear this footage is for something recorded in the 50s. These two bright objects were spotted in the Great Fall, and it remains unexplainable to this day. No drones, no satellites, absolutely nothing existed back then. So, what were these two bright objects in the sky? And let's not forget how this footage is from a daytime sighting. For something to still be that bright, with the sun at its peak, means just one thing: UFO. Also, fun fact, this is one of the first ever sightings, which led to the creation of the term UFO. Pretty neat. Number 22. Dark Side of the Moon. You'll have to focus to see this one, folks. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. And you know all those mysteries about the dark side of the moon? Well, it looks like they're legit. Plus, for a telescope to see something zooming across the surface of the moon from Earth means two things. The object is so humongous that it gets spotted, and that it's going exceptionally fast to cover distance so quickly. It could just be a piece of space debris, though. Number 23. UFO or sulfur. Despite this clip being recorded in Norway, it's not the Northern Lights. It's something much creepier, considering the weird movement and shapes of these bright objects. And what's interesting is, after this clip first went viral on news channels and social media, thousands of UFO enthusiasts flocked to the area, whipping out their cameras and recording versions of their own. Now, regardless of how supernatural these lights might look, there is a scientific explanation to it, because there are so many mining operations going on in the area. It's like a giant battery shooting up sulfur in the sky. When the sulfur reacts with the electrically charged air, it often creates these light phenomena. Number 24. A cloud or bad camouflage. Isn't it strange how this cloud is moving independently of others, and why is it shaped like a saucer? Could this just be a really bad camouflage by some alien species? I'm sure you've heard of lenticular clouds as well, but did you notice how it's turning into itself? Weird. Number 25. Not an animation. Trust me, this isn't an animation. It's real footage caught over Beijing. It's a strange glowing object that splits into three before disappearing into the sky. An expert drilled down on the sighting, claiming it might have just been a rocket flying over China. As for the strange shape, he claimed it's nothing unusual, as a lot of rockets tumble to get rid of excess fuel, often forming a cloud. Despite the explanation, residents were convinced this was a UFO because of how it split into three different objects right before disappearing. Number 26. UFO spotted observing astronaut. If being alone in space wasn't already scary enough, imagine not being alone. An astronaut can be seen outside the ISS making some repairs, with a strange rectangular object hovering right above him. Curious guess, or just some space debris? But then again, NASA has stated several times that they wouldn't let any sort of debris get that close to the ISS. I mean, even a small screw traveling fast enough is capable of destroying the station. So, it makes no sense why something like that would just be floating so close by. Number 27. Return of the flying saucer. I thought these flying saucers were a thing of the past. I mean, it's nearly been a century. Aliens have probably made some significant upgrades, right? But nope, this flying saucer-type object was spotted back in 2021 over Lake Michigan. I'm at a loss for words. I have no idea how to describe it, people. I could just follow mainstream media and say it's a weather balloon, but I'd be lying. That clearly isn't a weather balloon. It's a flying saucer. The truth is, they're right in front of her. Number 28. Tiny alien found in Mexico. Remember the horrors when a tiny, non-human being was discovered in Mexico? Guess what? They just ran some CT scans, and what they learned was shocking. So, obviously, after looking at this tiny, mummified alien-like being, only one thing comes to mind: an ancient toy or an artifact. But nope, the CT scan reveals there's no evidence of assembly or manipulation of the skull. Also, did you guys notice how the doctor is handling it like it's a $10 toy figure? Be careful with that, dude. That's literally a baby alien. Number 29. Rocket remains or an alien craft. What is that thing? A farmer discovered it after finding it inside a crater on his farm. Whatever it was, it came crashing down from space. A lot of experts think it was from a rocket or satellite, considering how SpaceX has been launching so many of them. And if that is indeed the case, why hasn't SpaceX said anything about it yet? Or why haven't these so-called experts been able to figure out which rocket or satellite it's from? They're probably downplaying as they try to take the remains away from the farmer. Number 30. A strange star or lens effect. I don't want to feed the conspiracies, but this does kind of look like a lens effect. It could be a tiny droplet of water being hit with light, creating a weird-looking effect. Or it could be a massive space organism in plain sight, because that's how organisms look under a microscope, right? Maybe this guy just needs to focus his lens to not see this UFO anymore. What's more believable? I'm gonna have to side with the skeptics this time around. Number 31. Weird movement. Okay, so last time I checked, seagulls didn't glow or reflect. So, what are these objects, and why are they moving around like that? A reporter questioned whether they're fireworks, and trust me, I've never seen fireworks move around like that. It's almost like a fish underwater. Or maybe they're interdimensional seagulls, and some of the objects at the top make such sharp turns. It's unbelievable why no one is talking about this. If you ask me, that looks like something that the government wouldn't want you to know. Number 32. Something strange landing in Colorado. Get ready, Colorado. Something strange just landed near the mountain. It's an orb-like object that hovers right above the mountain for quite some time before landing. And I know how it goes these days. It's a drone unless proven otherwise. But drones aren't exactly bright objects. Plus, there were multiple eyewitnesses that day who reported seeing the same exact thing. I'm still pissed off though. We're living in the future with some of the craziest phones ever. And this guy right here is recording this mysterious object with what seems to be a potato. Number 33. Impressed by our technology? It's that same wicked orb again. I think I've cracked the code. The most common UFO out there is the mysterious orb. And look what happens in this clip as we see two windmills come to a complete stop as the orb passes through. Think it's edited? Well, look again. The windmills in the background continue to rotate, clearly indicating the footage isn't tempered. Maybe that alien wanted to get a closer look at our technology. Also, did anyone else notice a second object pass by real quick? What a strange clip. Number 34. They're keeping an eye on us. I have a crazy theory. What if the reason why we can never capture good footage is because they interfere with our technology? They probably don't want to be seen. And judging from this clip here, I think they've been keeping a close eye on us. What are these strange dots around the ISS? Is it an entire school of UFOs scoping the ISS? Are they afraid of our advancements? Or are they simply keeping a check on us and protecting us from things we don't know yet? Number 35. Drone formation. This mysterious object was captured back in 2016, and I'll be honest, it looks like a formation you'd see at a drone show. But considering how close it is to whoever's recording, why aren't there any buzzing sound? We should be able to hear these drones in action, right? It could just be an edit as well, but I don't think so. Either a master Photoshop expert worked on this, or it's real. And, yeah, like all the other clips we've seen, multiple eyewitnesses reported seeing the same exact thing terrorize the sky. Number 36. Tuning in for the fireworks show. Notice all the fireworks happening below? Well, that solves a mystery. It's certainly not a firework. And secondly, what even hovers like that? This footage is old, and we didn't have drones back then. Could it be a sky lantern? I don't think so, since it should have been moving and not hovering. This happened in Denver back in 2011, as police received several calls of everyone reporting the same exact thing, a mysterious hovering object. Maybe it was just some visiting aliens here to enjoy the fireworks show before their trip across the universe. Number 37. A rocket? I'm going to keep it real with you. This does look a lot like the second stage of a rocket re-entering the atmosphere, but the only difference is that it's not re-entering. It's actually headed towards space. Also, notice how it bounces like a bubble and then just vanishes in thin air. Believe it or not, a lot of people think these aren't crafts or alien. They actually believe it has to do with biblical angels and whatnot. What do you think, though? Extraterrestrials, angels, or just a rocket? It could very well just be an electromagnetic phenomena as well, you know. Number 38. Flyby. Maybe the reason why aliens are watching us so closely is because we're ruining the Earth. Just throwing it out there, guys, because these 3 UFOs just did a quick flyby to see what's going on. The first clip you see is from a door cam, and the next is recorded from a smartphone. There's definitely no manipulation going on since they're the same exact objects. But what are they? I seriously think we need a special task force assigned just for these moments, chasing these objects down to see how they behave or where they go. Number 39. Get ready for an abduction. I'd probably go hide if I saw something like that. The last thing I want is to be abducted by alien. This mysterious triangular object has lights on each side with a bright red dot right in the middle. It almost seems as if that's where they shoot that beam to abduct humans. Some conspiracy theorists believe these are actually our own creations hidden from us to prevent a possible invasion in the future. Number 40. 3 flying saucers. Get ready for not 1, not 2, but 3 flying saucers. The scary bit is how you can actually hear their engines as they cruise by. I've never seen an aircraft like this, and it's way too big to be an advanced secret drone either. What if these are actually real aliens and we're just refusing to believe them at this point? Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. So, what do you think? Actual aliens or just bad editing? And are you excited for the massive asteroid to fly by? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos in the future.